Hi, I'm Kirby Allison. Thank you for all your comments and questions that you guys have asked on our YouTube channel. After reading them all and answering as many as possible, I've selected 5 that we're going to feature in today's Q&A video. Each of these individuals I have selected will receive a complimentary pair of our Sovereign Grade shoelaces as a token of our appreciation for their participation in our channel. In today's Q&A video, we're going to be answering your questions about edge and heel care. Remember, if you have any comments or questions while watching one of our videos, please ask them in the comments section. I enjoy getting back to you and answering as many of your questions as possible. Our first question today is from Bill Enlow, and it's on our Advanced Edge and Heel Care video. It reads, "Thanks for this advanced guide to heel polishing. It contains all the steps I knew that I was missing but didn't know what they were. In my experience, most guys miss Heel Care 101, which is to take your shoes to a cobbler and get them re-heeled already. I see a lot of people walking around with worn down heels. Guys, this is bad for your back, plus it doesn't look good. Others notice. Also, don't forget Shoelaces 101. If they look worn, replace them. And Shoelaces 102, learn how to lace and tie your shoes. Thanks again, Kirby, for showing us the way of shoes." So Bill, you're a man of my heart. You really speak to everything that I think is so important about shoe care, which are those finer details and a little bit of preventative maintenance. So what Bill is talking about is a little bit of a preventative maintenance whenever it comes to edge and heel care. And one of the most important things you can do is to just have the top lift of your heels replaced before you wear all the way past the rubber into the heel block. So with our Kirby Allison Certified Shoe Restoration Program, we'll replace this entire heel block. But you don't have to wait until you wear all the way past the top 1 or 2 layers in order to have your shoes re-heeled. It's very simple to just take off this top layer and replace that with a new one, preventing you from wearing past the top lift into the actual heel block itself. If you've already worn through your top lift into the heel, it means that you've worn 3 or 4 or even 5 millimeters past the top lift, and at that point it begins to look bad. You've all seen those guys, they've got a pair of shoes, but their heel looks like it's half worn down. So a frequent replacing of the top lift really can go a long ways to making sure your heels look good. Now, heel care, of course, is more than just replacing the top lifts whenever they need to be replaced. It's also recoloring your heels to fix any type of discoloration. And that's what we really go into in our Advanced Edge and Heel Care video, which is just the work that you need to do to ensure that you have properly colored and shined edges and heels. Now, there's a lot of different approaches. We've got a lot of products here at the Hanger Project. We've got our Feeblings Edge and Dressing, which is a great product. It has a dye and a little bit of waxes in it and does a really nice job of recoloring. We're also launching a new product from Tarago that we actually collaborated with them to help develop. Again, it's going to re-dye your edges and heels, but it also includes some waxes so that you can shine those and elevate the gloss. But of course, the most simple thing you can do is just use a little bit of Saphir Pomadir cream polish on your edges and heels, which is what's going to introduce and provide that pigment to recolor. And then actually the Saphir Mirror Gloss is one of the best products you can use to finish your edges and heels. Apply it with a shoe shine dauber, generously allow it to dry, and then buff it using a larger dauber. And what that's going to do is it's going to give that pop to your edges and heels and ensure that they have a nice soft shine to them. And I think that that is the most important thing that you can do to ensure that you're taking proper care of your edges and heels. Now, Bill also laments the fact that most gentlemen aren't replacing their shoelaces often enough. Of course, here at the Hanger Project, we have our Wellington shoelaces, which are made exclusively for us in Northampton by the same company that makes the shoelaces for the majority of the Northampton shoe trade. And if your laces look worn, replace them. Shoelaces are so easily replaced and have a disproportionate effect on the look of a shoe. Just replacing an old, worn pair of shoelaces can make a dramatic difference in how your shoes look. And also, you want to replace your laces before they are ever at risk of breaking. Of course, Murphy's Law will have it that your shoelaces only break at the most inopportune moment. So taking a little bit of proactive efforts to replace those whenever you're polishing your shoes really will go a long way, also as an insurance policy of sorts. Bill, thank you for your question, and we really look forward to sending you a pair of our Wellington shoelaces. In our Kirby Allison Certified Shoe Restoration Program, we have several different styles of heels to choose from, and depending on how quickly you traditionally wear through your heels, you might want to choose something like the JR combination heel that has a full second layer of rubber, or our JR Vibram heel, which again has a very dense rubber that is going to provide longer wearings between reheelings. Our second question today is from John Morse, and it reads, what do you do differently for edges and heels that are not black or have a more transparent look? Great question, John. A great example of a shoe with a naturally finished heel is this Gation and Girling Antype. So this is an absolutely beautiful shoe. One of the things that I love about a natural heel is that you're able to really see the different layers of leather that are used to build a heel stack. So here you can see, this is the Welt. You're able to see the 4 layers of the heel block plus the top lift, which is the rubber section, and the bottom. And a natural heel is just, again, it's a beautiful detail that you'll see on kind of lighter brown shoes. Now, with this shoe here particularly, you really don't need to do much to care for the edge and heel. You could polish this with maybe a neutral cream polish to, again, just kind of resaturate and we-wax that. On a naturally finished edge and heel, what I would recommend is using a light brown polish to come over that. You could use a light brown Saphir Pomander cream polish. Again, you want a little bit of pigment to just resaturate this, to re-nourish it. And then my best recommendation is using the Saphir Mirror Gloss. Now, you wouldn't use the Saphir Mirror Gloss in black. You would use the neutral Saphir Mirror Gloss. Apply it with a dauber generously, and then buff it with either a pig bristle polishing brush or a pig bristle shoe shine dauber. This is one that we sell here at the Hanger Project. And the most important thing is just working up that shine. So it's applying those waxes and shining the edges and heels just like you would do almost a mirror shine. And that's the best thing that you can do really to take care of a natural edge and heel. Our third question today is from Frederick Calabresi, and it reads, is Reno Mat suitable for removing errant edge dressing on shoes? So the Reno Mat certainly will remove certain edge dressings, but I really think that this comes into the point of how important it is to be very careful in the application of an edge dressing. Something like the Feeblings edge dressing, the Tarago edge dressing, or even the Saphir alcohol-based leather dyes. If you're using those to color your edges, you want to be incredibly careful because the alcohol-based nature of these dyes means that whenever you get it onto the upper, there's really nothing you can do to remove that. The Reno Mat might help a little bit, but it's really not going to do much to protect the edge and heel. So, my best recommendation is, using the Saphir Pomander cream polish, which can be removed if it gets onto the edge, or more importantly, just being incredibly careful in the application of the edge and heel not to get any on the upper. Now, some shoemakers you see will actually apply something like a masking tape right here to help protect the shoe. If you're really getting into the welt with some type of wax, maybe you would want to do that. But whenever you pull that masking tape off, it's always going to take some of the wax and maybe even a little bit of color with it. So it's not something that I really recommend. My best recommendation is really just being careful in the application of an edge and heel dressing. Our fourth question today is from Raymond McDonald, and it reads, what do you recommend for the top of the sole or edge, the stitching area? For all the work, it seems like the visible top of the welted area, which collects dust and dirt, was less relatively untouched except for incidental brushings. So Raymond, great question. And so what Raymond's talking about here is at the top of the welt, where actually the welt is sewn to the outsole, is one of those areas of the shoe that is always going to accumulate dust. Now, it's not an area that's normally shined whenever you're shining the shoe, and so it's due to that neglect that you can really see a lot of accumulated dust build up and begin to really bring down the look of the shoe. And so the best thing that I can recommend, and this is just good general edge in welt care, is to take a wax polish, either the mirror gloss, which is certainly my number one recommendation, or you can use just a standard Pat Deluxe wax polish and a welt brush. Put a little wax in there, and do this before you shine your shoe because you're inevitably going to get wax onto the upper itself. So you want to do this at the beginning of the process and take that wax and really get it into the welt. Now, the solvents in a Saphir Pat Deluxe wax polish are going to help clean any dust and dirt off of the wax, but the other benefit is that those hard waxes are going to seal those holes where the stitching has been sewn through the welt to the outsole and just help provide additional waterproofing. So take that wax, really work it in there to clean the welt, allow it to dry, and then take a clean brush and buff it out. Now that's gonna clean the welt, it's also gonna give it a nice shine, and the waxes are also gonna help protect and waterproof the welt stitching. Our last question today is from Jam Fixley, and it reads, what do I do if the edges and heels have become rough? So great question. So there's a phenomenon that I call driver's heels. So that is the tendency of your right foot or the heel of your right shoe to become really rough and discolored because, for those of us in America, they're spending a lot of time in the cars driving, you're constantly pivoting your right foot on the floor mat, and it really can cause this right heel to become especially rough. And so, of course, waxing, and polishing with a little bit of cream and wax polish will help that. But at a certain point, it just becomes so rough that it needs to be smoothed. And what you can do is you can take a little bit of high grit sandpaper and you can carefully sand your edges and especially your heels smooth again, and then recolor it with cream and wax polishes. Now again, you're gonna wanna use a high grit sandpaper, and then if there's any type of fudging, which is the indentation around the top of the edge, you're going to want to be careful to sand underneath that, because unless you're a shoemaker, you're not going to have the tool to really kind of re-indent that pattern back in. So just carefully sand. Now, of course, you're going to be taking off a lot of color whenever you do that, and so I recommend using some type of liquid-based edge dressing to ensure that you can fully resaturate that heel. So either the Saphir alcohol-based edge dressings or the Feeblings or even the Tarago is going to be excellent. And then I would re-ink it with that and then repolish it with a cream and a wax polish to really bring up that gloss. So that's a little bit of advanced edge care. Take a look at our videos where we go into exactly how to do that. And I think we might actually use this as an opportunity to put together a new video on edge and heel care, because it really is that last frontier of shoe care. I mean, taking great care of your shoes, a nice mirror shine, new shoelaces is gonna get you 90% there, but it's the edges and heels that really take a great shoe shine and make it exceptional. So once again, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone for their comments and questions. It's your engagement on our YouTube channel that make these Q&A videos possible. Not only do these Q&As give me an opportunity to answer in greater depth a lot of the questions that I'm already answering, but they allow me to take a moment to acknowledge my appreciation for everyone's involvement in this channel. I've absolutely enjoyed this platform and how it's allowed me to connect more directly with all of you, and I really have fun interacting with you and answering your questions. So if you haven't taken an opportunity to ask a question or make a comment, I invite you to do so. Even if you don't have a question to ask, just sharing your opinion or chiming in on our content helps make all these videos more interesting for everyone. I read all those questions and comments and personally do try to get back to as many as possible. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications by clicking the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you can learn whenever we release new videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything we discussed on this video, please ask them in the comments section below. And of course, please visit hangerproject.com, where we have the largest, most comprehensive collection of luxury garment care and shoe care accessories in the world, as well as many other incredible products for the well-dressed. And while you are there, subscribe to our newsletter to receive notifications of new product launches, promotions, as well as a weekly digest of all the videos we publish here on our YouTube channel. I'm Kirby Allison, and we love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Thanks for joining me.